It's time for a little Funky Friday. From their funky hidden headquarters, your hosts, Keith and Gerry.
Yeah, no Keith. He's late as usual. But I'm going to go ahead with this show, whether he's here or not, because I'm really looking forward to having our guest on. And before we get our guest on, we'll go ahead and introduce our panel. Today we have my good friend, Fat Steven Seagal.
Fuck you.
All right, fuck you. I fuck you very much. And another good friend
backdrop
is Deleted Scenes is here.
Good afternoon.
And we are very happy. I'm so fucking happy because it's been over a year since he's been on the show. Is my good friend Paul from Heavy Spoilers. And let you take over my spot there, buddy. You are...
We back.
You and Midnight's Edge were the first two shows I started watching religiously on YouTube that did not inspire me to do a show. I was like, God, I wish I could do a show like that.
Never be as good.
But when Keith and I started hanging out and doing panels at the convention, I thought, no, we could do this too.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to replicate. I didn't want to replicate what you or Midnight's Edge, even though we are kind of like Midnight's Edge Junior.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watch Midnight's Edge at all, but we really are kind of like Midnight's Edge Junior. And
yeah,
even though I'm older than both those fuckers, I'm older than all you fuckers.
It's like okay, Captain. Also,
I'm $1.6 billion, and Paul really does have the best breakdowns.
Thank you.
And you are, I see all the time, Mojo and fucking New Rock Stars fucking steal from you, dude. And you know they steal from you.
No comment. Because I watch a lot of their stuff, though, to be fair. Maybe not
I do
Mojo,
too.
but New Rock Stars I watch quite a lot of.
But because I watch you first, there's my partner in crime. There he is. Keith Moncrief.
Black man.
He's back from doing black guy stuff.
How's everybody doing?
Hello.
It's so good to have you back on the show, Paul. I want to have you on a regular basis because you're just so much fun, and you're such a nerd. And
what?
What
gave it away?
I know.
You want to buy some Funko Pops there, Paul? You want to just come down to Fat Stevens?
I think the big selling point is the weights underneath all the nerd stuff. Are you weight training?
I am. Yeah, I'm always weight training.
Outstanding.
You have Marvel Collectors Corp. I have that shirt. You do have Marvel. Yeah, I thought so.
Oh, he is a comic book guy, man.
Yeah.
When he does his breakdown,
love that shirt.
He breaks it down from the perspective of a comic fan, and that's why I love your show so much. And your latest one,
I thought you hated comics, though.
Quick.
He does. He also hates drawing and breathing and eating.
Comics in the fact that I gotta wait 30 fucking days to find out what happens next, and it just. So what I do is I wait till the series is done. And they print it in the trade paperback.
Yeah.
Then I fucking buy it.
It's so hard to remember the full story.
It's stupid.
If it's 6 weeks, I can't remember issue 1. I'm like, I don't know who this character is. Apparently this character is the bad guy, but no idea who this is.
See, that's why I love comic historians sometimes. When I can't remember a story, I need a refresher. You go back to comic historian, and the way he does all the things like that.
So good. Yeah.
It's fantastic.
It's outstanding stuff, and I've watched him too. But I love your breakdowns because, one, you're the punniest fucker I've ever met.
What?
And you do more dad puns than anyone. In 5 minutes, I think you did close to 100 puns in one episode.
Yeah, they're all terrible.
They're all terrible, but they're really good. But you have really grown.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been a great year. Really happy with how everything's going.
But I did get tickled by the fact that you got some hate because you brought up a subject that I really liked, which is, are you shill or are you
Hater.
are you a basement dwelling hater?
Yeah.
And I love the honesty from which you just approach things, which is look, sometimes I really love something because I really love this stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna fucking play this. Let me go ahead and share the screen.
Oh no, he's not gonna sing again, is he?
Yes, I'm totally gonna sing. Fuck. Share screen. Here we go. And I love this moment in the video.
Going. Now, as for my thoughts on the episode, I kind of want to address some comments that I got on the last 2 videos I did for the show, and then we'll jump into the leaks. I said I was a bit disappointed with the first 2 episodes, and because of that, a number of people kicked off calling me a hater, saying I've changed and stuff, but yeah, that's just how I felt about it. There's this weird thing when you talk about Marvel stuff where if you enjoyed it, you get called a shill, and if you say you didn't like something, you're automatically a hater. I've talked about it a lot in the last week, and I've said I thought there were too many filler elements like the sword fighting, the parties, and LARPing. However, there has been people who've said they've liked those elements, which is absolutely fine. And just in the same way that I like the Eternals because of certain things in it, I know there's people out there that dislike the movie for the same reasons I enjoy it. It's just kind of weird to me. People can't accept that your opinion means you like some things and don't like others, and they automatically have to brand you as being either a shill or a hater. A weird criticism I got was that people said I didn't like the show because it wasn't the typical Marvel humor stuff that's full of jokes. But yeah, I don't know what you were watching because the show definitely has jokes in it. Anyway, what I'm saying is just let people enjoy what they enjoy and dislike what they dislike. There's not really an agenda here, and I know there's a very small section of the fandom that think everything has to be in black and white, where you either loved it or you hated it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I was just kind of met on the whole thing. Now, as for this episode,
all right, I'll stop it there because that was fucking brilliant, dude.
Thank you.
I really love hate for that point there.
But you shouldn't, though. That's the same thing we were looking at the conversation when people said, "Oh, I hate the sequel trilogy, but I like the Mandalorian." It's like they couldn't accept that you could like one and not the other, and then they tried to like barrage you in that category. It's the same thing. It's like, guys, human opinion. They will like and dislike things based off their personality. Get over it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Now, before we continue, I want to say hello to our wonderful chat. Hello, Jacob. Jacob is actually a friend of Keith's and mine from Springfield, Missouri.
Have you let him out of the basement yet?
Pat is one of our producers, and he's in the chat. Welcome, Patrick. Let's see. Who else is here? Katie is here. That is Kyle's little sister. And she's going to be joining Pop Culture Minefield on a new show, which will be all about Geekosity news. And if you've never checked out Mikey Sutton, Paul, you need to check him out.
Oh, yeah.
He is batting 1,000, and we have a close relationship with that guy. And I have never seen anybody that is so freaking accurate with his scoops.
Yeah.
And it doesn't – people start talking shit about him because, it's not immediate. Oh, it's not. Give it a few months to a year and watch what happens. And that's what happens with him.
There's a weird thing in the scoop game where a lot of people will drop scoops, but they'll drop them almost too early. I mean, there's been a lot of No Way Home scoops I've seen that people
like Tobey Maguire's junk.
They're now reporting it as an exclusive, and it's like, whoa,
what an idiot!
It's like, whoa, someone reported this like 6 months ago. And like, no, it's my exclusive. It's like, I don't know.
And by the way, Martin Acosta Santana, greetings, my friend. Martin is, he's an Xbox friend, and he's also, because if you didn't know, I game stream.
You can tell it's history. You can tell it's Gary's game stream because it's always very choppy and laggy, and he doesn't realize that he's screwing up his bandwidth.
No, actually, it's since I switched over to not using StreamYard, but instead using OBS Streamlabs. Man, my game streams are so much smoother.
Last night's wasn't. What the hell was that?
Well, that was somebody else. I was experimenting last night. I just did that on a lark. And it had moments where it was really good. But I'm going to stick to OBS Streamlabs because it's absolutely flawless streaming for doing games. And I love gaming. But anyway, let's get back to this shit. Let's get into the Scoop thing. Who are some of the Scoop guys that you focus on?
Daniel RPK, I think it gets everything for trailers absolutely bang on. A lot of the work I do with trailer breakdowns, it's kind of schedule based. And Daniel RPK has just been a massive help of being like, well, Morbius trailer's coming tomorrow. So I'm like, oh crap, I better, clear the schedule out, get everything ready for Morbius. Who else do I look to? I mean, yeah, it's difficult to really say. Obviously, Mikey Sutton, I've seen him get a lot of stuff right. Big Screen Leaks, they've just kind of came in and they're getting a lot of
over
stuff
time, I give him a batting average of 1,000, which is because his accuracy is impeccable. I've yet to find one where down the road wasn't proven to be right.
Yeah.
He's not missed.
Yeah. I don't know. It's difficult because obviously I scoop stuff myself as well.
Oh no, I have you cornered. You look nervous.
Yeah, so it's just a bit weird. I don't know, but I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm a scooper, to be honest.
No, you're not. You focus on the stuff that's really important is the show that is actively on right now.
Yeah,
and
exactly,
what you might have missed.
Yeah,
and things you should maybe look for. Because even before I watch an episode, I'll watch your show if it's something that I want to know before ahead. Do I need to look for something?
Yeah.
I do have one question. As much as you're doing your breakdowns, what is like the most prominent or most favorite breakdowns you've ever done that always when someone asks you this question, it pops in your head first?
Oh, I don't even know. No, it mustn't be. I've done that many. That's the thing. I've done so many. Obviously, the Squid Game one that I did, that's probably the one I'm most happiest with because of the views.
Oh, it's really good too.
Yeah. So that's done a lot of views, and that has pretty much made the year worth all the crap that happened this year. So yeah, probably that one. Squid Game, all the clues about one of the characters in it. Just hit 20 million views. I'm looking now. What a success.
Fantastic.
Let's move out.
I don't know why, but I'm so proud of you because we've been friends for so long to see you grow so much.
Yeah, it's been a really crazy journey. Everything's just kind of the last maybe 18 months has just kind of taken off.
And you know what? I'm going to take credit for something. You did not use your name publicly until after you were on our show.
Did I not?
And
it was your idea then.
Almost immediately as Paul.
Yeah, it was getting to a point where I was just getting so many questions like, so what does definition mean? And then they go, why does it have 2 F's in it? And it was just like, oh. And I watch a lot of shows like Angry Joe and stuff where the creator is almost as important as the channel itself. If that makes sense, where I kind of associate. And I just wanted to be that person. I didn't want it to be definition. I wanted it to be Paul.
Well, definition came from the DJ work you did, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Angry Joe is brilliant, and if you've been watching recently, the Battlefield stuff he's covered has been hilarious.
Yeah, he's really funny. But Angry Joe is kind of, I mean, the way I looked at it was you've got IGN and Angry Joe. Now, Angry Joe is a personality, and there's a face to that channel, whereas IGN's just sort of like, I mean, there's not a voice to that channel. There's not a person that you associate with that channel. I know it's got its hosts. It's not like there's not someone driving it. And I just wanted to kind of aim towards something where you had someone that was approachable about the brand and that sort of thing. So that's kind of why I changed it to my personal name.
And I think it works. Because really, your show is your personality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
because I can't get rid of it.
It's funny because you're not a dad, but you have the best dad sense of humor I think I've ever seen.
Well, we're expecting twins in February.
Oh, man.
Really?
Congratulations,
bud. I'm just getting ready for that.
Oh, you're in for a hell of a life.
Yeah.
no.
Now, your first kids right out the bat, and they're twins.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
boys.
So you buy
whose genes brought that about?
I don't know. Neither of us have twins in the family, but two boys.
Not that you know
So
of.
it's going to be difficult. No one talks
I
about
think
it.
I think it's the working out. You're just overperforming.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so that's coming in February. So I've just hired an editor to help out with stuff, and I'm getting them to slowly learn the ropes of the channel. And then I'm hoping that I'm just going to stay up all night and just write and record audio whilst I do the feeding and stuff, and then in the morning just pass that off to the editor and be like, right, I'm going to go to sleep for 8 hours. When I come back, I want this video done. Otherwise, you're fired. I'll do that every day.
Well, you are at a point now where you should be making a living completely off of this.
Yeah, I have been for a while, about 2 years now.
Oh wow, almost as long as we've known each other. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I think when I hit about 130,000 subscribers, that's when I quit my full-time job.
I just get so excited every time I see you have a growth spurt. I'm like, God damn! And we
Yeah.
haven't been trying. We're slowly growing. We're at 2,500 right now.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I think once you get past the first 1,000, it's just kind of
Yeah, it's like
It's
I'm
much
expecting within the next 2, maybe 3 months, we'll hit 3K.
yeah, and you
And,
probably will, because once YouTube starts making money out of you,
Oh, you
That's when
pass
it's
your
like-
babies off to an editor.
yeah,
Your editor's the nanny.
but yeah, once you start making money for YouTube, they become a lot more interested in you, and that comes about the 1,000 subscriber mark.
Yeah, and we finally, we got monetized during the summer, I think, or just before summer, and so we've been pushing it. But it wasn't until recently because I reached out to my friends at Midnight's Edge, and I'm like, yeah, I think we're ready to start promoting what we do.
Yeah,
And so they've been really pushing us. Andre, I'll probably bug you, talk about us. Hey, they're not bad. Gerry sucks. Keith is good. Any black guy on a show is good. And his family watches the show, by the way, Keith. His brother finds me funnier. But anyway.
Oh, ouch.
Keith,
True,
it's been a while since
ouch.
you've asked a question. Ask Paul a question.
Look, since you started doing this, have you found yourself first and foremost reconsidering some of the things that you thought when you were younger, I should say, were good, and found yourself re-examining some of that stuff? Or
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, even Dune recently, I hated that the first time I watched it, and then I rewatched it, and I was like, oh yeah, this is actually quite good. I just had I had the wrong expectations for what I thought this movie was going to be, and I thought it was going to be like a Star Wars-y sci-fi epic. And I know the story of Dune. I haven't read the book, but I've read all the graphic novels. I watched the original 84 film and stuff like that. So I did kind of know the story, but I just thought with them doing an update, they were going to kind of modernize it and make it, the same way that Star Trek was modernized by J.J. Abrams. I kind of thought it would be along those lines, with like the ornithopters and stuff like that fighting, and yeah,
and
just went in.
It was more organic this time.
Yeah, it was a lot closer to the book. If any, it was probably closer.
I've said that in my review that this is going to be, at least in our lifetime, the only close adaptation to Dune we'll ever get. The closest adaptation of Dune we'll ever get.
Definitely.
Yeah. Aside from it being a television series.
And Duncan Idaho. Well, see, even the TV series got Duncan Idaho wrong. This version of Duncan Idaho was perfect. I fucking love him.
Yeah.
And
really
the casting was impeccable.
Yeah, everyone was just such a good lineup of actors. So yeah, but yeah, I just went in with the wrong expectations, and just the way it ended, I was like, well, this isn't really a third act for me. It's not really what I'd expect a movie to end as. And then I rewatched it, and I really enjoyed it. But I don't know if it's also because I watched it with my wife, and I could tell she wasn't enjoying
And
it.
she
within the
just
first
Oh,
and where it just kind of sucks. When you put a YouTube video on for someone and you can tell straight away they don't like it, and you just spend the whole time. Just
I learned not to
watching
show
the
my wife
progress
your
bar.
videos.
Yeah, definitely don't. They're too long, and you just watch the
She
progress
loves
bar
your
the whole
show, by the
time.
way.
Yeah,
She also gave me a warning that I said fuck too many times on the show. She came in and gave me a heads up. Hey, you've said fuck way too many times. You need to stop saying fuck. Fucking stop it. I went, okay. But
yeah.
but I want to bring it up that you and I have this dark history with each other where you got me so caught up in one of your episodes.
He nearly died.
That I realized that I may have overdosed my insulin because I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. I was so focused on, and I can't remember. I think it was WandaVision.
Right. Yeah.
And
you fell asleep. And then woke up.
I was like, God damn it! And I had to pause your video. I had to watch it when we got back because I get so I get emotional.
Yeah.
Are you crying? Am I crying? No, I'm not crying. You're crying.
Yeah. But I get so caught up in your fucking show that I lose track of what the fuck I'm doing. So I'm no longer allowed to watch your show when I have to take my nighttime insulin.
Just make sure you watch the ads, though. Yeah, in the middle. Leave the ads on.
You don't want to know that I've had blockers on. I know it's awful. I will turn them on just for you.
You better.
But yeah, because that's how you make your living. Have you had copyright strikes?
Yeah, all the time. I'm always getting copyright claims, but I'm just I always dispute them, and I don't understand why there's people who don't. But I just always dispute every single claim, and they always get cleared.
Midnight's Edge does the same thing. They dispute them.
Yeah,
too.
You just dispute them, and the studio tends to get the gist of it that you've been through this process before. Because the way that it's worded on YouTube's very is fear mongering the right word? But where they're trying to intimidate you.
It's intimidation and bullying.
Yeah, exactly. And the way it's worded.
YouTube should be more protective of its creators.
100%, yeah. Because studios like Universal, they'll reject your first dispute without fail.
CBS too.
Yeah, terrible. CBS are really bad.
Warner
Paramount,
Brothers can suck it.
Because even though I hated the Twilight Zone series, I liked the trailer for the very first trailer they put out. It was good. And I showed the trailer and did commentary on it, and they would not give up. Because I challenged it, and I'm like, then fuck you. I'm not going to show anything or talk nice about your fucking shows.
Yeah, and that sucked as well. I'm not really a get woke, go broke kind of guy, but that Twilight Zone series.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
That was one of the only things that I've been doing weekly breakdowns on, and I just stopped. And I was like, I just can't cover this anymore. It's just
I noticed that. I remember you just sort of just
I was like, I'm sorry, guys. We're 9 weeks in. I'm not enjoying it. I'm not doing it.
It was so badly written, and this is their problem: is they hired non-sci-fi writers, whereas Rod Serling surrounded himself with the best fucking sci-fi writers of the time.
Yeah.
Gene Roddenberry did the same thing, and this is where Alex Kurtzman and what's his name? I like his movies, but I don't. Peele,
Jordan Peele.
Yeah, it's like he did a terrible job of show running that. Terrible.
Well, I think the issue now is that these projects like your Star Treks and your Twilight Zones, they're not the prestige television that they once were. They're almost where they get newcomers involved. They don't get the best of the best on because it's not that kind of level. HBO will get the best writers they can, but these they're very much like, we've got the rights to it. We'll get some young writers involved in it and people who don't have all that much experience, and they just kind of let them do what they want and give them almost too much control.
Well, Paul, I think that's because of the corporatization of Hollywood. Because what has been happening is that you have a lot more people who don't have a background in being creative first and foremost.
Yeah,
who are offering their ideas and opinions on how either television shows or films are made. and you have a lot more people that seem to be getting hired who are a little more favorable to taking those creative suggestions and actually using those. And a good example of that is Kevin Smith and the whole Netflix situation, because that's exactly what he did with He-Man.
I haven't
took
even
all
seen
of the
it.
notes.
Yeah.
He took all of the notes from the dude that was running everything and just he basically gave creative control over, well, he didn't really give it. Kevin was hired after they had already started work on all of that. And he was hired to basically just be a name to help bring people in to this project that was actually being showrun by a Netflix executive whose only experience prior to becoming that executive was as an actor. And he's an activist on top of it. And so, Yeah,
I kind of think the issue now as well is they pay too much attention to social media and kind of go off what the vibe on that is and what people are saying. Because back in the day, in the 70s and 80s, you couldn't, judge how something was going to be received or kind of plan and react to that, because you didn't have that instant response that you get on social media. So you very much just had to dig your heels in and go forward with the project. And now I kind of feel it's like they read social media and from that decide what to greenlight and almost, what direction they should take things. And a lot of the time, social media is not the best way to look at something. Like in England, the way an election's going to go, on Twitter, it's the exact opposite. I was on Twitter for like the last general election, and I could have swore that Labour, who are the left-wing party over here, I could have swore they were going to win just from the reaction on Twitter. And it was a complete landslide to the right-wing party, the Conservatives. And too many studios are kind of reading Twitter and thinking that that's the way they have to engineer things towards. And they've moved away from it the last year, I'd say, where we're seeing stuff where I think they've realized that, it's not paying the bills. Like, we're looking at a point where we might even start getting some darker DC projects, because I know like Birds of Prey flopped, Suicide Squad flopped, and I think they've kind of realized like maybe social media response doesn't exactly dictate how much money we're going to make or the direction that we should make things. And I like those films as well.
That's a mistake they do make, and I agree with you, because they focus way too much on people who aren't going to give them money. Yeah, like even critics. Yeah. Critics don't make them money.
100%. Yeah.
Critics, they'll like throw out an 82% critical approval for a film. It's the audience reaction that matters.
100%.
And everybody ignores it, but that's the one that actually matters.
Yeah, definitely.
And also, I think that there is this move away, but I also believe that what is going on with Marvel right now is really a problem for all IP. The situation with Marvel versus Stan Lee and eventually Jack Kirby and everyone who actually worked on a lot of the early Marvel stuff, all of that's going to be looked at really I think it's really being looked at by everybody over there at DC. Because if they are successful in taking on Stan Lee's heirs, that will change the game really for not only just Disney, it'll change the game for Warner Brothers, because they'll have to start making a lot of changes to these characters.
Yeah.
That will allow them to be radically different than how we knew them in comics. That way they don't have to pay the heirs or the estates of a lot of these particular IPs. And I think that has a much more chilling effect even outside of that. Yeah. But because everything seems to be right now based on interpreting comic properties, that effect is going to be huge. And it's just again, you have a lot of executives who are using this as an opportunity to try to be creative, who have no real, in my mind, business being creative, because they've shown no inkling to do that in the first place.
Yeah,
and they're making a lot of bad creative decisions.
Yeah, well, there's not much creativity in Hollywood at the moment in general anyway. I mean, that Disney Plus day, I was watching it, I hyped for a lot of the projects, but I just thought there's not really an original idea here. It's even X-Men 97, which I'm very excited for, kind of thing like, okay, so I wish my job was just being a Hollywood executive who just picks up a magazine from 20 years ago and sees what was popular and goes, yeah, make that, and pay me. I've come up with this idea. Here, take this magazine, make all this stuff, and pay me to come up with that idea.
Yeah.
Go woke, go broke. Is that a saying? I don't know.
No,
It is.
You're the first one to say it. This is a monumental moment.
Yeah.
But hey, are you growing a mustache?
Probably not. No, I'm just not sleeping much. We're getting free time outside of YouTube. Yeah.
That's a dad stash if I ever saw one.
Yeah. Terrible. I wish I could grow a beard. I can't. It's just the stash.
Oh, you wait. You wait till those babies show up. Trust me.
Yeah.
I'm going to bug you. You watch. I'm going to bug you after February and start going, hey, come back on the show. We want to see how you look. You can't hide behind your voice on our show.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like I'm not starting to, but
see?
I've been
Do the background. Do the background.
Oh, he's got a house and everything.
It's the house you used earlier.
Go woke, go rich.
Go rich.
You like how I modeled everything? I picked it all out myself.
Your whole living room is a supremacist. Why is it so white?
Well, it actually means something for me to have a brother in a home that is so white. Me being dominant in the picture and all. You know what I'm saying?
Why are you segregating that black piano back there?
Because I can. What?
Yeah, we're controversial, Paul. Do you get it?
Yeah, seems that way. I probably shouldn't be associated with you guys. I'm not.
I know. I'm offensive.
That's why I'm here to.
Yeah, deleted. You've been quiet. Ask your question, motherfucker.
See, this is what I get for being on the show.
That'll teach you.
I have only seen clips of Hawkeye, so I haven't seen enough of the show to answer this question for myself. It gets a lot of comparisons to Die Hard. Do you think that's valid?
Oh, really? I'm not really seeing that.
No, me either.
I mean, maybe Die Hard with a Vengeance because it's set in New York and it's got people running around.
Yeah, it's a buddy film.
Yeah, not really. I mean, it's set in New York at Christmas, so yeah, in a way, I guess.
Maybe that's it. The whole Christmas theme.
There's a white guy with brown hair.
I think ultimately the biggest problem I see with the show is it's kind of boring. There's no real chemistry, and it all seems to be a show.
Have you seen episode 3?
No, Keith has a good point. If you're coming in knowing nothing about Hawkeye, because Hawkeye is one of those no-name Avenger characters, especially if you're coming from a comic book norm, it's not going to affect everyone in the same way. Yeah, I saw him in the Avengers films. Great. Eventually you lose interest because it's no longer a prominent film we get every couple of years. But at the same time, the only chemistry in this series is the Tracksuit Mafia. They're the only ones. Their trucks are literally saying like the bro moving and stuff. Bro. Like Keith, we had an actor on yesterday. They all have fun on the set and off the set, like B5 people. Like that's their thing. And for people who are coming into that show, when we've been drowned with so many, that it's very hard to separate if you're not a big comic book person, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. But if you were someone coming in like that who didn't know comics, your only other thing would be that Hawkeye seems to be kind of the guest in his own show.
Hit the opening credits. The opening credits are not even him.
Haley Steinfeld's. I mean, the other day it was announced that she's the number one star on IMDb or something, right? So they are smart for giving it to her.
Yes, and the thing is, I'm not saying they shouldn't. What I'm saying is that if you have a character that is well known,
Yeah.
and one of the characters and one of the actors from one of the biggest comic book movies, grossing comic book films and film series of all time. If you're going to make that transition from one to the other, you should do it mainly focused on the character that is more well known rather than trying to put the entire series on a character who is not that well known. You know, this should have started out with a whole thing and be centered entirely on Hawkeye, his wife, his kids, and all of that, and that you slowly introduce Kate Bishop throughout the series. And then when you end the whole thing, you watch as the show kind of morphs more into a show that is comfortable with her and putting her rather than putting her front and center from the very first episode, because now you're making Hawkeye sort of like the guest in his own movie. I
think the way so they could have done it that way, and I think the other way to do it would be to just hit the ground running straight away and just kind of smash Clint and Kate together. Probably not the best phrasing to be using, but I think basically the way they should have done the story is pretty much have the way that episode 1 played out, and then at the end of episode 1 they both get captured by the tracksuit mafia, and then you just go straight into episode 3. I don't think there's anything major that happens in episode 2 that needs to.
Well,
I mean, we don't know the full outcome yet, but there's nothing in episode 2 that I'm like, this wasn't also set up in episode 1. So I think if you had have just done episode 1, cut straight to episode 3, which I really enjoyed, then I would have felt the season was really, really strong. But instead, it was just kind of meh episode 2.
So you've got a new subscriber.
Who's this?
Down in the window with you.
Mr.
Philip
Molina.
Philip Molina, who the hell is that?
He's just in our chat.
He's wanting to show you some love.
And they're wanting to show you some love, Paul.
Thanks.
So, yay. Yay, people like Paul. Yay. That's just ignorant.
Yeah.
But
You're an ignorant blanket.
That's ignorant, and I'm a girl, and I'm white.
I don't know if you know. Do you watch South Park? Do you even know what we're doing?
Yeah. Michael Jackson.
Yeah. One of the funniest episodes I ever saw.
Yeah.
There's a reason why those guys are pretty much making $900 million from CBS and Kurtzman's only $150. But I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah, it's like within 1 week, it's like Kurtzman signs new contract for $150 million. And then by Friday, it's like South Park signs contract for $1 billion.
Did you watch the latest episode?
The post-COVID thing. It was fucking great.
Really good.
Blade Runner references all around. Because as the founder of the Blade Runner fan club, I'm communicating with the Blade Runner fans on other groups. And
as soon as that advert,
I started showing I took snippets and just posted it. Like, look at this shit. Look at this. Because it's been almost 20 years since the last one. The last Blade Runner reference was Cartman's number when he went to juvie.
Right, okay.
His juvie suit number was Rick Deckard's badge number.
All right, okay.
And then all of a sudden, 20 years later, it's just an episode just full of Blade Runner references.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, wow, you guys
future.
Waited to really let it out.
Hey.
But let's go back, because I believe, based off of the comics, that is fucking Kingpin's hand.
Yeah, it was his
laugh
as well.
Yep.
100%. Yeah,
I
say 100%. You don't know what Marvel's gonna do. They could let you down. It could be Ralph Boner. It could be He Who Remains. You just don't know who you're gonna get.
Yeah, I'm so sick of that shit with them doing that. It's like, give us a fucking payoff that's worth our fucking time.
No, quite. I really like He Who Remains. I did like the Loki one.
It's Mephisto.
Yeah,
that's all I'm gonna say. It's Mephisto. And honestly, Loki, I will not watch after I heard that it ends with him making out with himself in another universe.
Yeah,
I thought you would do.
That's narcissism right there.
But that's what Loki is, though.
That's what Loki is, but it's still cringy. It's like,
oh yeah,
pull my hair, call me Jodie Wallcraft.
Yeah, she's kind of hot. But that ending shot on the statue, brilliant. Got me really hyped.
Look, to me, all this Disney plus Marvel stuff, MCU stuff, has been kind of a mixed bag. None of it's really, in my opinion, been a knock out of the park type of situation. I mean, nothing that is clearly to me. I mean, to other people maybe, but to me, I just feel that everything that they're doing right now, this should have been a lot easier in a sense coming out of Endgame than they've made it out to be, and it just looks like there's a lot of issues behind the scenes because they're suddenly things are difficult, and outside of the whole Stan Lee thing and possible Jack Kirby thing, yeah, okay, I can see if you throw that in the mix, I can see how things are difficult. But if you're just looking at it from, hey, you own Marvel, you have all these characters, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? You would
think that they would be kind of fast tracking things like the X-Men and the Fantastic Four.
Well, even their use of Shang-Chi, which I did not agree with. Not so much not with the character. I mean, they are going out of their way to do things with some of these characters that make absolutely no sense. Originally, Kevin Feige looked like he was greenlighting certain things to fit within certain genres that they were establishing that would be with a Marvel spin. You have superheroes, you have space sagas, next you would do say the supernatural, and then you would have kind of like your spy stuff, your Bourne Bond type of area, and on and on and on. And Shang-Chi, to me, as an idea, was really wasted in so much as that in the comics, he is a character that is kind of loosely based on Bruce Lee. But he's got that journeyman thing where it's him basically just kicking everybody's butt that he goes up against. And he's more like a Bruce Lee / James Bondish type character. So why not just go ahead and begin the MCU's version of a spy type thing? Because then you could put all of your really cool spy type stories through that same area. But they've already screwed up Black Widow, which is not so much the character as it was taking a bunch of human characters and making them basically superheroes is what you're doing. When you look at Natasha in the Avengers and then the way she is in Black Widow, there are stunts and stuff.
Yeah, that was a missed opportunity. What do you think, Paul?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
That was a missed opportunity with Black Widow. To have done something really good. She was the female Bond character that they should have.
I didn't really like Black Widow that much. I thought it was a bit
very disappointing.
She got sidelined in her own movie. I thought the ending. I've still got no idea why they cut the scene halfway through for the ending. And then you've got the full version of it on Disney Plus, and it's like I don't get why this isn't in the movie. Like General Ross just shows up, and then it just cuts to black, and then it's 2 weeks later, and she's fine. I'm like, what happened there?
Also but that's the same thing going on in the Hawkeye series. Both of them, you have Black Widow, you have Hawkeye, and both of them are basically sidelined in their own series.
Yeah, because Yelena massively stole the show in Black Widow. Yeah, and that's what you're doing with Kate in this one. Both of those characters. Kate is Hawkeye in the comics as well.
True. But
it's the build-up for her to replace him. So I kind of get that, and I'm not bothered by it, but I do get bothered by what they did with Black Widow. Hawkeye's not, don't get me wrong, I don't want to be a dick, but he's not that interesting a character to me, but he really works well with other characters. So I think that's why this show works. But I want to criticize Kevin Feige over one simple thing, that he tends to pick the shittiest fucking comics to bring into the cinematic universe. He picks like the ones that had the worst fucking sales that nobody fucking liked. Oh, I'm sorry, fuck too much. Oh boy, I'm going to hear it from the wife again. The But
I have told you on a number of occasions to watch your fucking language.
I know. Jesus fucking Christ. I don't know what's wrong with me.
What the fuck, man?
Jeez. Paul's like, I don't know. I don't know what to go, mate. I'm lost,
guys.
mate. I'm just so.
I wandered into this chat room.
I just think that there's so
funny,
much that Marvel has that they could adapt that would be fascinating, that would be original compared to what a lot of other people could do, and they just don't seem to be interested in doing that. And
I think that's why we've seen attacks on fighting too.
Yeah, when they do adapt stuff, though, it's never, beat for beat how it is in the comics. It's very rare that it actually lines up a lot. Like Age of Ultron is completely different to how it is. The What If episode, the finale, that's more like Age of Ultron than Age of Ultron is, which is weird.
Yeah. Hello, Valiant Renegade. But go ahead.
I lost my train of thought because Gary wouldn't shut up. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Keith.
Well, I agree with you, Paul.
But do Marvel have as many? I don't know if Marvel have as many classic graphic novels as DC do. When I think of like the best graphic novel stories, most of them are DC. You know, Watchmen, Dark Knight Returns, Year One, V for Vendetta. Sandman's DC as well. I know it's under Vertigo.
I don't, because like when I buy Marvel graphic novels, they're just collections of the comic stories, and I like those. Whereas DC really has put an effort to put out graphic novels. I mean, 86 is when I stopped reading comics because I love part of Secret Wars, but the marketing behind Secret Wars pissed me off so much I stopped reading comics. And because it really pissed me off what they were doing. Marvel was being not very clever and overly intentional with trying to make money, do big, huge money grabs, variant covers, and you got to buy these shitty comics that you never read in order to get the rest of the story. And I'm like, you cocksuckers.
You motherfucker.
That's right.
Valiant Renegade brings up a fantastic point. Could we get him on the show? Can we get you on the show, Valiant?
He's probably at work. He's probably listening from work, or he's. I'm just guessing, but like.
I think Keith likes Valiant Renegade.
Keith likes even 64-year-old tits. And naked women with 64-year-old tits riding naked on dragons.
Jesus Christ.
I just like to
he is at work.
It's true.
He is at work.
Oh,
so.
Well, what he had said was the intent from day one was to replace the A-Team with original Disney Marvel property to avoid further future legal entanglements with Kirby, Ditko, Lee estates. You are so right. You are so very right.
Aren't some of the estates trying to get back the whole ownership of some of these characters because of how Disney's been handling them in general?
Yes.
No, it's not just them. It's everybody. It's an entire comic book thing. And it's happening.
Hold on, Keith. What, Paul?
Like, I think it's just all the money and the fact that they're clearly not compensating these creators properly. Like David Aja. Is it Aja or... I'm sorry, David.
Aja is what I've heard. David Aja.
Yeah, if he's watching this, I'm sorry. But you watch the title sequence for Hawkeye and it's all his artwork animated and he's not mentioned anywhere in the credits.
Nope.
So it's like, what the hell are you doing? That's a lawsuit.
Welcome to the world of corporate film and television.
Wasn't it the same for WandaVision? That what's his name? What's the name for Darker Than Scarlet, Keith? Oh, you know what I'm talking about. Darker Than Scarlet, as well as the West Coast Avengers.
Oh,
also did Hulk. She-Hulk.
Yeah. Getting old sucks.
Brian Michael Bendis.
Oh, no. John Byrne, I believe, right?
I think so. I think you're right.
And
That
John
sounds-
Byrne, like isn't it in WandaVision? Like they're using different pieces from that whole storyline and stuff, but they're never ever mentioning his name in the credits. Also, there's
All
a
right, I
bunch
get
of people
you,
not
yeah.
mentioned. Yeah, same thing.
I thought you meant House of M for some reason.
Which I liked House of M.
Yeah, I really like House of M. I like all that alternate universe stuff. Age of Ultron, love it. House of M, love it. Give me more of that stuff.
WandaVision was so perfect. It's like finally someone gave a damn. I'm sorry. The way they were doing the television eras, they were doing everything. I was going through the trailers. Like, every episode, they had a new trailer for the next episode, right, for next week, right? I was going at 0.25 play speed and looking at each scene, trying to nitpick, and then I'd go through the Wikipedia for Marvel, I'd go through the comic book lines, and I would put them all together. And then whatever happened after episode 5, and it changed all out, and I'm like, this is leading all to Mephisto and all this stuff. And then it felt like, nope, not no more. He's now an inflatable doll at the circus. I'm out. I'm done. I couldn't apply myself anymore. It was like a Where's Waldo book of Easter eggs, and then they just, for some reason, the care left. That was my thing with WandaVision.
Yeah.
It
and they
hurt.
said they didn't intentionally set up Mephisto, but
Bullcrap, because Funko would not have put the Mephisto Funko Pop in their toy catalog unless there was an actual character in the show. Funko doesn't
He
go,
gets really excited. I'm sorry.
oh, because WandaVision was like the stab in the back for me. I put hours
you've
in
never
that show.
forgiven, have you?
No, I
You've
will not
never let
forgive
it
them.
go.
That's why I won't watch Loki. It's why I couldn't get through Winter Soldier.
Damn.
Or not Winter Soldier, but like Falcon. It's like, well, we care about comics, but we've never picked one up to read one.
Yeah. That's the thing. Most people don't read comics anymore, do they? They just kind of, and that's why I'm so successful, and that's why I've got a job. So I'm like, I can tell you, I'll just make stuff up and say it was in a comic.
I'll send you the link so you can actually see what some of the stuff I did.
Hey,
because it's just.
I am curious, Paul. Because of Ironheart, have you seen the Asian porn that it was ripped from?
No.
I finally did. I'm like, wow.
They're going adult. Finally, Disney's going adult.
Yeah, it's like that came out in 2014, and Ironheart as a character didn't come about until 2016.
Yeah,
and it's like, and it looks just like the porn character.
Okay.
So
it's so close, you might as well just say they got it from there.
and you know,
it's that
and
close.
because I'm a discerning critic, I had to go look for myself, and I agree that it is.
That'll be one of the Easter eggs in the show, I bet.
I would really like that a lot.
I'll send you the news just later, Paul. Yeah.
But I do want to congratulate you because you've gotten married too since the last time we hung out.
No, I was married back then. If it was a year ago, I've been married about 3 years.
It was just over a year ago. It was over a year.
Yeah, I've been married 3 years. So you were
married.
Do you remember things differently?
It's America.
Everything in America is remembered much better. The past. 20 years ago, I could buy a stick of gum and a car for 20 cents.
I think my favorite message from you was after I did that 1 30-second promo for the show where I was doing basically, I forget his name, English actor that usually plays criminals. He was in Indiana Jones 4 as his betraying sidekick.
Ray Winston.
Ray Winston.
Ray Winston. And you're like, did you do that accent? That was your message to me. You just asked me. Yeah. You did that accent, didn't you?
I do have a question. What are your guys' thoughts on the Lego leak? I shared it with you, Gary, for American Chavez's costume after you're done Valiant Super.
Oh, it's not Shuma Gorath either, is it? It's everyone thought it was Shuma Gorath, including me. I'm going to get some hate for that.
What, do you mean like the one with the tentacles?
Yeah, it's Gargantos. It's Gargantos.
Yeah, that is American Chavez's costume.
It is.
Yeah,
it's a Canadian.
Don't even do that.
It's a Canadian suit. You know.
She's from the multiverse, though. She's not from the main timeline.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's from Cowboy Bebop.
You Cowboy Bebop. Valiant Renegade, thank you for your $5 super chat. Hey Disney, you can pay the estates and get a large piece of something, or be greedy and get all of nothing so far as sales go. Enjoy. And that is really where they've taken the biggest hit. Their merchandise, and they can sit there and they can lie and talk about how the Black Widow and what was the other film they released recently were big hits. were such huge hits, but then their report gets released and they lost $65 million. That's not a hit. That's a fucking loss.
Yeah. I think they had a lot of issues with China as well.
Well, yeah, but see, that's the thing. If all of the problems that China had with Shang-Chi, if you had done it as sort of like a combination with Shang-Chi, if you had done it as sort of a combination of John Wick meets Jason Bourne and given a little bit of a Bond flair, that movie probably would have gone over instead of trying to do like you take the character. And like I said, it was the comic is more Bruce Lee meets the television series Kung Fu.
Yeah.
And you've now turned him, instead of being this guy who was a street-wise, world-wise type character, and you try to turn him into a superhero. You give him a costume. You give him that Michael Jackson type leather that they have.
The red leather
on, which, God, I can't.
Eddie Murphy wore in Beverly Hills Cop.
Okay. We need to look at it this way, though, at the same time. We're at a point now where The Adventures of Pluto Nash is better writing than crap coming out of Disney.
And Star Trek.
I don't talk about Star Trek.
Yeah. Hey, I still want to thank Valiant Renegade for the $5 super chat. Here's your little thank you.
Hey, where do these stairs go? They go up.
Thank you.
We have a question for Paul in the chat. This is from Philip Molina.
Who?
He says that when Paul said go woke, go broke, does he think there is some real truth there? Some people blame the Eternals' reception on that, and I'd like to comment on that as well when Paul's done.
Yeah, thanks for the question, Philip. Not really. I think a lot of it has to do with the pandemic, and I think, to be fair, a lot of things were bombing anyway before they went woke. I remember 5 years ago, before the whole get woke, go broke thing was a big talking point, that a lot of movies were bombing anyway, and that's kind of where the MCU... I mean, there were talks for years where it was like, comic book movies are the only thing that people watch now. As for the Eternals, the reason that didn't perform as well, I think, it wasn't released in China, and that's obviously a massive box office market for films like this. It's the pandemic as well, and I just think, it had some big actors in it, but it didn't have those massive movie star draws. I mean, obviously Angelina Jolie is, but a lot of the people who are coming from TV, like Gemma Chan comes from TV, Jon Snow, he comes from TV, Richard Madden from Game of Thrones as well. And then you've got the Rotten Tomatoes score as well, which, as much as people say, oh, fuck Rotten Tomatoes, make up your own mind, people still pay attention to the score. They still pay attention to the score. Like,
I pay attention to the score from the audience.
Yeah.
I don't trust
100%. Yeah, if it's got a terrible score and then it gets a good audience score, I'm like, oh well, the critics got it wrong. But when you see something getting a really bad score, it does plant that idea in your head. Even if you say it doesn't, even if you're like, just ignore that, you've still checked it. People still check the Rotten Tomatoes score, and it's still a big talking point. As soon as that score goes live, it's on social media. And the Eternals, everyone was paying attention to that score as well, because we were like, is this going to be the first ever rotten MCU movie? So factors like that, I think, all kind of come together. I don't think it was because it was woke or diverse or anything. I don't think that would have had a massive impact on the box office either way, because we've got films that are diverse that do gangbusters.
Well, I have a basic rule. Now, I'm curious if you feel the same way. It's like, I don't care if it's woke as long as it's well written.
Yeah.
Give me something that's well written.
I love Watchmen, and that was something that everyone said was woke, but I'm like, well, I really liked it. Thought it was really good twists and turns, really good character development. So yeah. What do you mean all of you guys hated Watchmen?
I think you're one of the few that enjoyed it. I think Keith enjoyed it. I couldn't get into it. I couldn't get into it.
Really liked it.
But you know, there are too few people watching, and that's the problem. I think that the way it was written alienated a huge chunk of the audience that needed to watch it. And I think that's a problem when you start using race as part of your plot. You better fucking be careful.
Yeah,
Gotta
but
be
it
careful.
was dealing with like things that really happened though. So
Yeah, I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying
it was quite good.
It's I always, you know, when I talk to some of my filmmaker friends, I'm like, careful when you get on the soapbox, man.
Yeah, and I do that a lot myself as well, where I'll put out a political tweet or I'll put out a one dealing with race and stuff. I don't do race that much, to be honest, but
I don't do it at all.
Yeah,
mine always deals with what's going on with cinema, just with entertainment.
Yeah.
I don't talk politics on our channel or on our show. And I have a lot of friends. Keith and I both have friends that are very political, and I'll click like on their posts. I click like on your posts, even if I don't agree with it, because I support you. And
yeah,
but I look at it, it's like you know, I don't agree with that, and I don't feel it's appropriate to share political views. Socio-political views are different. Sociopolitics are different than governmental politics. You know, and we venture into that territory, SJW woke stuff, but that's as far as we go. And Keith and I agree 100%. Don't ever go beyond that.
Yeah. Well,
And
that's
to,
the thing. Like, it's not. Yeah, I mean, I'm quite left wing. I've never voted
way
right wing in my life,
God.
but I can appreciate like as much as people complain about how left wing Hollywood has gone now. The 70s especially were very right wing, and there was a long time where cinema was kind of very right wing, and I still appreciate all those movies. Like the last Rambo movie, really enjoyed it, and I got into an argument with an IGN editor over it, just saying like, no, they were saying like how racist it was and stuff, and I was like, look, it's just a movie. I don't know if it was.
Well, they look for everybody's guilty of this. We brought it up earlier. And we're coming full circle to the comment that people are so sensitive on these subjects that they look for it where it isn't at.
Yeah, I mean,
and if you're looking for it, you can find it anywhere.
Political. Yeah, I think a lot of art is political, and you know, there's that saying, "All art's political," and if it says it's not political, it's political because it's saying that everything's fine and it doesn't need to make a statement. So it's a bit. You can look for it, and obviously, people know those kind of discussions get clicks as well. But I mean, I'll happily watch right wing stuff
if it's good.
Yeah, exactly.
It's good. It's like my rule of thumb is this: like when I'm writing, you shouldn't be able to tell what my politics are, because my focus is on telling a good story. And when you look at my comics, because I don't know if you ever read any of the stuff I wrote, you can't figure out my fucking politics. Because I have characters of different beliefs and leanings.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, and that's an issue that often comes up, is where people attribute one character to being the voice of the writer, and it's like, no, that's the character's point of view. It's not the...
You shouldn't have characters like that.
It's not the message.
Now, don't get me wrong. It's okay to romance the stone, which is having a character based off of who you are.
Yeah.
But it's who you are, not everything that you think.
Yeah.
And because I do it all the time. There are characters with my outlook. I have a character that says some really fucked up funny shit in Vindicated, you know, and I don't know if I've ever let you read that. I should send you a copy of my
graphic. Yes, it's true. But
you would laugh at some of the fucked up shit I say in there.
But things like The Boys, I remember when the last season of that, there was a big discussion around that going to left wing. And it was like, well, no, because the clear AOC character is also a baddie as well, who's just working for a corporation. So it's like, I think shows like that do it quite well, and they have their characters have politics, but it doesn't necessarily, the show itself's not giving a down the line message of this is right and this is wrong, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Going back,
Eternals are at 78% on Rotten Tomatoes, according to Pat.
Yeah. And I know my guy here has been wanting to say something for a while now, and we've just kind of gone off on a tangent.
Is that you deleted?
Yes. Going back to Philip's question, when it came to the Eternals, I'm someone who was on the outside looking in because I'm not familiar with the comics. I'm not familiar with those characters. Some people didn't know who Shang-Chi was. I was aware of who Shang-Chi was. So, but with the Eternals, I knew next to nothing. And so
it didn't sell it enough, really, did it?
They didn't sell it because they were so busy. And I'm like, well, what is the movie about? And everybody's going, well, our cast is diverse. Great, but what's the story about? We're different.
Right.
What's the plot?
That's nice, but what's the story?
And I still, weeks later, I still don't know what the plot of that movie is because no one has ever been able to explain it to me. I'm on this show. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say, I don't know if that's the movie's fault, though. I think that's more the marketing and the way it's being pushed in the media.
Oh,
because
it is.
all this stuff gets clicks. As much as, we say we hate identity politics and stuff like that being in things, it gets clicks, and it's a massive talking point still at the moment. So it's, I mean, I can see why they do it, but I don't always think that it's a smart direction to take. Like, No Time to Die, they derailed a lot of their marketing by, pushing stupid stuff that people just didn't care about. So I just want to see James Bond back. Is this the final?
And there were parts in that film, by the way. I didn't see your review for it.
I liked it. Yeah, I really liked it.
I liked like 75% of it, and 25% of it I thought was crap. And then I realized the stuff that I didn't like, who wrote that part, and I'm like, she wrote that part, and that's why it didn't work. But 75% of the film worked. And I enjoyed it. I didn't like him. I can't say what I didn't like the ending. Yeah.
Well, I did because I'm a really big James Bond fan. And I've always just wondered what a final, a quote unquote final James Bond film would look like. How do you write this character out? Because he's had such a big legacy.
Well, it's just so weird though, because at the end of the film, you get James Bond will return. Yeah. And it's like, no, you just fucking killed him.
Yeah. Don't leave the cinema yet. We've got one last thing. Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, that was a mistake, by the way. Did you like Ghostbusters? The new one?
I thought it was all right. I thought it was a bit too reliant on nostalgia. But I did, I thought it was fine.
It got a little heavy-handed, but at the same time, I enjoyed the story. The problem with it, my wife and I both agreed, it had a huge pacing issue, and it really felt like in some scenes that important stuff was about to happen that ended up on the cutting room floor.
Yeah. I mean, origin stories in general, I don't tend to like that much because a lot of it's going through the motions. Like the Joseph Campbell arc of, I forgot what it's called, but he's got basically a structure of I'll look it up quickly, but Joseph Campbell has
The Hero's Journey?
The Hero's Journey, yeah, thank you. And a lot of origin stories just follow that, so I can kind of see a lot of things coming.
It's okay to step away from that shit.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. So when movies go through that, that was basically what I saw Ghostbusters doing. They go to the belly of the beast, climb out, are reborn, lose a mentor, Paul Rudd gets kidnapped, that sort of thing. So I just thought it was.
Yeah, I didn't like that part.
Yeah, I just thought it was just an origin story, basically.
I also disliked that we didn't get Ghostbusters until literally the last act.
Yeah.
And it's like.
So, what did you think about the big cameo at the end? Because I know a lot of people.
Look, my favorite part of that movie was the post-credit scenes.
I haven't seen them. I left before.
Yeah, it was such a huge mistake. It was such a huge mistake because Deanna and I were the only two left in the audience. Yeah. Everybody left. We were the only two left and saw all the cut scenes. And I'm like, haven't you guys fucking learned from watching Marvel? Yeah, don't leave.
Well, even today I went to see Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City.
Oh, God.
And as so bad. And as we were leaving, a post-credit scene started playing, and I was like, "Oh crap! They do these still." I feel like everyone's just following the Marvel formula now, but I don't tend to stay for them unless it's a comic book movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that Resident
so it was a
Evil
big
movie, not
surprise.
good.
But yeah, I liked. The only thing I was kind of wanting was for Rick Moranis to come back, but I enjoyed Sigourney Weaver showing up at the end. I like the dynamic.
When did
between
she
those
show
two.
up? See, I missed that.
It was mid-credit.
Right, I
and
missed that. Yeah,
You see her doing the test with Vinkman with the cards.
I'm gonna look
and-
at them
and-
on YouTube.
In the electrical shock, she shocks him. It's fucking funny.
Right, yeah.
I can't believe you used to do this to your students.
Yeah.
You marked the cards,
and
didn't
he's-
you?
No.
No.
Yeah, I don't want to. Don't say anymore. Don't say anymore. Don't ruin it for him.
Okay.
I enjoyed that part. I enjoyed the film. I gave it like a B plus.
Yeah,
It's
it's better than 2016.
It's better than Ghostbusters 2. Because Ghostbusters 2 was too much like the cartoon series.
Yeah,
And
I don't know if it's because I grew up with, when you were young and you got given like 3 VHS tapes. So mine were Batman Returns and Ghostbusters 2. And I can't remember what the other one was. But I just used to watch those just on loop all the time. So Ghostbusters 2, when I was about 4 years old, I really enjoyed. And it's that Egon, I forgot what the guy's called. Vigo, is it? The painting, the guy in the
Vigo,
painting.
yeah.
Vigo, the
Vigo.
Carpathian.
They got the Carpathian.
Who
Scare the
was secretly
crap out
Max
of me.
von Sydow, the voice of
Mm.
Max von Sydow.
But yeah, so I quite like Ghostbusters 2. But
No,
you were
I did
saying
too,
it's
but
better.
there were problems with it, like making Slimer character in it was from the cartoon, and the relationship between Rick Moranis and Amy Potts was from the cartoon, where originally it was set up for Egon and her character, Janine. Yeah, it's like, and stop looking at me with those bug eyes. Sorry about the bug eyes comment, Janine. Anyway, that's how big a fan I am. I can sit there and quote those fucking movies. I love them. But I want to thank Mr. Tickle Trunk for his $1.49 super sticker. Mr. Tickle Trunk is an avid viewer of the show. We love the guy. And he's lurking tight. Love you guys. We love you too, man. And Daryl, the derelict says, well, you can keep the $5. I will, mister. That's another Ghostbusters one. What's a new film that you've seen that nobody's talking about that you'd like to talk about? Or TV show?
It's not called The Boathouse. It's called something along those lines. It's got Rebecca.
The Lake House?
The Lake House.
The Night House.
The Night House. Yes, that's it. That's really good.
Oh, the
really,
horror.
Really good film.
The
Yeah,
horror
really
movie.
good film.
Gothic
really
horror.
enjoyed that.
Yeah. Okay, I've got that in my queue, so that's something to watch.
Yeah, it's on Disney Plus, I think.
What do you think
Over
of
here, at
Arcane?
least. I still haven't seen it. Still really wish
Highly
I had a
recommend
chance
it,
to
my
watch
friend.
Yeah,
Highly recommend it.
It's the show I get requested the most to watch.
I want to see your
Um,
breakdowns of that one.
Yeah. I
I
definitely.
guarantee you,
wanna check that.
Deanna will watch you on that one too.
Yeah, no, I need to get into it. But yeah, everything's just so busy at the moment. Just so many things to cover, and you've got to kind of sacrifice covering some things to stay up with other things. Like there's so many Spider-Man No Way Home things out at the moment that I'm just
Yeah,
like,
because people think, oh, it's just you do this show, you can just do another show. It's like, no, you got to prepare for them. No, I get you. I totally get you, Paul.
yeah,
I empathize and sympathize, my friend.
yeah. Thank you.
But keep working on. I'm weight training, by the way. I've lost 50 pounds in
Amazing.
fat, and I'm gaining weight in muscle because I'm actually weight training. I'm beefing up. I have a duel coming up. I'm planning to meet with Graham Nolan and Richard Bonk, comic book artist friends.
Okay.
You know who Graham Nolan is. And I've challenged him to bicep show off.
Right, nice. Get on it.
A dance off with muscles.
Yeah.
There we go. And I do this to him every once in a while because he's a dick. But I love the guy. Don't ever mistake that I'm irritated with him. I just do it because he's loud. But this is really the end of the show. We've been here for almost we've been over an hour, and I try to keep the shows to an hour. And now Kyle took off. He's going to go see Spider-Man today.
How? It's not even out to the.
I don't know. He's in Canada. You should know. Jesus
There's
Christ.
nothing till the 17th.
He said he's going to go see Spider-Man.
40 minutes, because I heard all the screenings today are just showing 40 minutes from it.
Maybe that's what he's going to go
the
see.
The press are really annoyed. Like, really annoyed.
I bet.
Good.
Yeah.
No, that's good. So they can't spoil shit. That's good.
Yeah.
So he will come back, and he's going to take snippets from this episode of saying things smart and clever, and he'll make little clips of them to post.
Nice.
We're learning about the whole algorithm thing finally this year, and I'm so grateful to Pat S, who's in the chat, Mike Canole, who is also known as Mexican Iron Man, as our executive producer, because these guys are pushing the envelope with the show and trying to get us to finally grow the way we should be growing. And Keith and I like being low key. We don't want people watching us because I say things that aren't nice sometimes, and I'm always afraid someone's going to get angry. It's like, and you're getting it. You're like one of the nicest fuckers I know, man. You really are, Paul.
Yeah, thank you.
And you get called, and you're getting attacked for the being a shill or being a basement dwelling hater. You know,
exactly.
It's like, oh my God, wait till they get a load of me.
Yeah.
But I'm so grateful you came on, and I'm not going to wait till over a year to get you back on here. It'll be a few months, and I'll get you back on.
Cool.
I want to see how Daddy Life is going to be treating you, dude. I really am.
Yeah, anytime after August. Yeah.
I am done. I raised my baby by myself, Zoe, but I've got 3 kids that I helped raise, and my daughter all by myself, and I couldn't imagine twins, dude. My heart goes out to you, brother.
Well, apparently it's harder when they're younger, but then when they get older, it's easier because they've got a friend with them all the time, so you can kind of just leave them to themselves. So we're just holding out for the next couple of years.
Well, wait, I want to thank Daryl. Thank you for becoming a member, my friend. It's deeply appreciated. What I highly recommend to every one of my friends who becomes a parent, don't freak out if you can't get them to stop crying, and you're not going to go to hell if you get up and walk out of the room for a little bit.
Yeah.
You know,
the bar and then the wall.
No, Dad, you'll go to hell for that one, my friend.
Yeah.
But I remember that the first thing I was taught through dealing with stress was it's okay to get up and walk away. And I used that same discipline with raising my child, that, you know, coddling them isn't going to stop them from crying. That it's okay to put them down and go, I don't know what's up with you. I've tried feeding you. I've tried burping you. I changed your fucking diaper. You're crying still. So I'm just going to get the fuck up and go in the other room. And I'll come back when you calm the fuck down. Yeah. And I did that with Zoe, and she's just one solid kid. Keith will tell you.
Yeah. Well, they learn over time, don't they?
Yeah. You know, she's very affectionate. She loves Keith, by the way. She was so happy we went to Keith's birthday party, and she cries when she gets to see people. That's how affectionate she is. And when she got to see Keith, she was like crying, and just like, I fucking love that, my little girl. But anyway, I look forward to hearing some baby stories from you too.
Yeah.
And let's see how that dad humor. Let's see how that dad humor sticks around afterward.
Yeah, we'll see. Thank you, man.
I'm telling you, you're turning to the dark side after a month of doing that shit. But I want to thank you for being on the show, Paul.
Yeah, thanks for having me
on. Any
on.
last statements you want to make before we go?
No, just watch my videos and watch the ads as well. Turn off that ad blocker. Get that the hell off. I'm sick of this.
Yeah, only for your channel. Only
turn it
for
off.
your channel. I'll turn it off.
Get it off.
All right, brother. We love you, man. Thanks for being on
too.
the show, man. With that, stick around for after the show for just a minute or two. I'm off.
I'm just kidding.
No. I always show this video at the end of an episode because it's religious for me. It's one of my favorite movies. It's a Val Kilmer film, so I hope you'll appreciate it.
Goodbye, Chocolate Mousse. I'll never forget you. Goodbye, Ducroix. Take care of yourself. Goodbye, Deja Vu. I'll always remember you. And I'll miss you most of all, Scarecrow.
I love that movie, dude.
Yeah.
Secret. All right, guys. Thanks for all the comment. Oh, we got another comment. Let's see what that is. Thanks, Pat. Thanks, Daryl. You have a great day. Thanks for becoming a member. Mr. Tickletrunk, we love you, man. We love all you guys. Purple Valkyrie, everyone. Valiant Renegade. We're going to get you on the show, brother. Everybody, take care of yourselves. And with that, this is the end of the show.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Pop Culture Minefield. If you've enjoyed the show, please remember to like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Remember, you can find us at Pop Culture Minefield on both Facebook and Instagram. Thank you again.